Hi bestie. Today we're not doing nails because remember I got the gel allergy. This one I think is turning into hongo. You see like on the sides of it. So today we're just gonna clean them up. Hello, there we are. So this is how the first date went down. But before we get into it, I want to preface with, I don't casually date. I've never casually dated. Me personally, I have to talk to a man for at least a month. I have to vet them out. I have to see if they're worth my time and energy. And at the time, bestie, I was working 3 jobs. So I didn't have time or energy or anything to be wasting on a guy, on a boy that wasn't worth it. I wanted a man. I wanted to, fall in love. And I've been single for 8 years. At that time, 8 years single girl. Any day I'd rather be the cool single aunt than to waste my time. That's the way I see it. If you don't see it like that, girl, that's okay. So I was working hard. I had just gotten myself out of credit card debt, 10K worth of credit card debt. I had just gotten myself out of a bad situation, like career-wise. I had just made a career change. I wasn't even working in something even close to the field I studied at all. Completely different. My lease was ending in 1 month. I was gonna get myself out of that survival mode. Like I was renting a room in somebody's house, right? And it wasn't hell, but it was like really depressing. My life was flourishing. All my hard work was paying off. All of my sacrifice was paying off. Finally, I felt in a place where I can date. Like I receive it. Please. You know what I mean? I was like, please date me. Yes. I was ready to receive a man, and not just any man. I had already proven to myself how amazing I was, how resilient I was, how hardworking I was, how dedicated I was, and that if I wanted something, I could get it done. You know what I mean? So I needed a man not because I needed him to get me out of all this situation. I wanted a man to complement my life, and that's when my man came along, girl. Okay, ooh, hey. Backtrack, okay? By this point, we're already talking for a month, and we had like our first phone call. And I remember being at my mom's house and I was like, this is the perfect time, because where I was living, I couldn't really make any noise. I was living with a married couple and the wife's parents. And they were so quiet, girl, like so incredibly quiet. I couldn't really make any noise because you could hear a pin drop in that house, quite literally. So I was like, I cannot call him in that house for the first time. So I was visiting my mom. My sister-in-law was there. The kiddos were everywhere. I think my brother was here too. They were all in the living room. Everyone was making noise. I'm like, this is the perfect time. Like nobody's gonna be in my business. I'm just gonna go to my mom's room. I'm gonna talk to him on the phone. Like everything's gonna be chill, so good, right? At this point, bestie, I have told my mom about him. I've told my sister-in-law about him. I've told my brother about him. Like everybody's rooting for him because they know I wasn't just gonna date anybody. Like they knew that I wasn't playing around. Like if I was gonna date this man, it's because I'm dating him to marry him. Like this could be the future father of my children. You know what I'm saying? And so I tell him, guys, like, wait, we're gonna go on a call. Like I'm just gonna go to your room. Like I'm gonna lock myself in there and like we're just gonna have talk. She's like, yeah, oh my god, yeah. And so my sister-in-law was like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, okay guys. So I book it to my mom's room. I close the door behind me. I lay down. Immediately she calls me. I pick up. The second I pick up, my mom and my sister-in-law open the door and just climb into bed with me. I looked at them and I couldn't say anything because he was on the other line. So I was like, no. And they were having it. And they were like, speaker. I'm like, girl, for real? You for real right now? So I put him on speaker. The first thing he says, he's like, hola, princesa. The moment he said it, I was like, yes. And so my mom and obviously my sister-in-law, they're like, and I was like, oh. And so I lose every brain cell. I'm like, what do I say now? He called me princess. I've never been called princess. This is our first phone call. Like we're not together. Like we haven't even set up the first date yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean, princess? Who else do you call princess? Why did it come out so naturally? Like, you say this to everybody? Like, so many things were running through my head, Bessie, okay? But he didn't seem like the player type. So then we start talking. Every time I'd look at my mom and my sister-in-law, like, look at their reactions, and they were just like, it was that kind of phone call, but I think it was for over an hour, girl. And my mom and my sister-in-law stayed for most of it. They finally left. No, they didn't. They stayed for the whole thing. Because I was thinking, when we said bye, were they there? They were there. They were. And I was like, okay, you know, bye. He's like, bye, princesa. And then the moment we hung up, they're like, princesa. And I'm like, shut the frick up. The whole time, I see we talked about friendships. We talked about family. We talked about like what we want in life. If we want family. Like this isn't just like, what's your favorite color? You know what I mean? This is like, do I see a future with you? Do I see marriage with you? Do I see kids with you? Like, do we have the same morals? Do we think alike? Or are we like completely in separate worlds? Like, this isn't just a fling or we're just gonna go on a first date. This is like, I wanna get to know you to see if it's even worth going on a first date. And I could feel that he felt that way too, which was intimidating, girl. I could tell that he was not about to waste his time. But I was like, okay. That made it harder. I was like, oh. He scoped me out. I scoped him out. And he passed. And right now, at this second, he was passing. You know what I mean? And I think I was passing too. Because then I'm now in a place where I'm like, I want to meet you. So I tell him like, oh, I want to meet you. And he's like, immediately, he's like, okay, let's set the date. And I'm like, okay. But the only day that we both had, like, were off at the same time was Sunday. He had the whole Sunday. I worked until 2 p.m. So we scheduled a Sunday, I think like 2 weeks out. Even though we had the date set for Sunday, I didn't want to wait anymore. I was like, I know this is like him. Like, I want to meet him. So I tell him, I was like, I don't want to wait anymore. Let's just meet Friday. And that was because I had every other Friday off now. And so we're set for Friday. So leading up to it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm looking into every sweat block you can think of because I sweat, girl, because I'm an anxious girly. And when you combine nerves and heat, because it's summer, girl, okay? It is hot. Where I live, it was reaching 100 degrees up. So I needed to make sure I wasn't drenched on our first date. Like, I'm researching every Frizz product you can think of. Like, I was getting ready. I wanted to put my best self forward. And because he had already told me, like, leading up to the date, like, oh yeah, I've thought about this, I planned this, like he's planned the whole thing. He even, oh my God, one time I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, just writing in my journal. I'm like, I know, I shouldn't judge, Essie. I shouldn't judge, but I'm like, you write in a journal? I was like, all right, okay. And he's like, yeah, like, you know, just thoughts or like our dates, like plans of our future dates or first date. And I was like, word? Word? Send me a picture or you're lying. And he sent me a picture. He sent me a picture of our first date. I think he was so nervous, Bestie, and he is like a planner. I'll show you the note. I'll put it on Instagram because all the pictures of the date are gonna be on there, girl. So at this point, I'm like, oh my God, he's just as nervous. Like, he's really planning this out. Like, he's taking his time. Like, he doesn't seem like a ladies' man. Like, I think he generally like wants to, you know, make sure everything's perfect the way I do too. So it's the day of the first date, okay, girl? And you know how I said I was living with the couple and their parents, right? And so at this time, girl, I was tired every day, right? Because I was working 24/7 every day. I was crying almost daily. I was very like depressed, you know, I felt very lonely. I was trying to, you know, I was digging myself out of a really tricky situation. I looked insane. I look tired. I look exhausted because I was exhausted. And so that's what they would see every day. They would see me exhausted. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, hey. And I would just go up into my room and then like stay there, go to sleep, come back out, go right back to work. You know what I mean? This time, I remember finishing my get ready, right? You saw it. I finished doing my get ready. I'm feeling great. I hadn't worn makeup in so long, Missy. I hadn't done my hair in so long. Girl, I felt good, you know? But because I have social anxiety, I'm like, they better not be downstairs like in the kitchen or in the living room like doing stuff, because when you go down the stairs, immediately you can see the kitchen, the living room, like it's all eyes, you know what I mean? So I'm in like, oh my God, I can hear them downstairs. Like, what if I wait? But he had already texted me that he was outside, okay? And so I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes for them to go like back into their rooms. Like, he's outside. god. So I'm walking down con la faja, las tetas pa fuera, like hair, makeup done, jewelry on, and I'm like carrying my shoes. They literally took one look at me. I look at them like, fuck. And they're like, they literally audibly gasped. They were like, and I was like, and she's like, Araceli? Mm-hmm. I'm her. This is me. This isn't somebody else in your house. It's me. She's like, wow. She's like, you look beautiful. And I was like, this is like a first nice interaction we'd had. Not that they were mean, but they were like, we were like very like all socially awkward. So like we never talked, right? And it's like they're my landlord and I'm living in their house. So it's like that weird, you know what I mean? Maybe you don't. Hopefully you never know what I mean. But like that's how it felt like. She's like, where are you going? I was like, oh, I have my first date right now. She's like, okay. And that was like it. That was our conversation. They go back into doing their own thing because I'm literally like shaking, I'm sweating, I'm scrambling. I have to put my shoes on in front of them, girl. And they're not like slip-on shoes. Okay? I have to put on those strappy platform sandals. And I'm not like sitting down putting them on. No, I have to be standing. I'm there sweating, leaning with the faja, cutting into me. You know what I mean? I'm just like, next one. Okay. You know, because it's awkward. I want to get out of here because this is the most interaction I've had with him probably the whole year, because I'm literally like moving in less than a month or like a month or two from that point on. They speak another language too, girl, and they're talking. I know they're talking about me because they're looking at me and I'm just like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, oh my God, it's fine. The moment I get out the door, I'm gonna have a breather, right? Oh, but he had asked me before our first date, girl, if he could pick me up, like if I was comfortable enough for him to pick me up. And so I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, I wasn't going to be living there anymore. I told him, Bessie, do not knock on my door because this is not my house. You know what I mean? I want to be respectful. Do not come up to like the driveway. Like you park wherever you got to park, like close to the house. I will see you there. So I gather myself. I'm like, okay, bye. And they're like, oh, bye. I'm anxious. I'm panicky. And now I'm overheating. Okay. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Get yourself together. Girl, the moment I open the door, I lock eyes with him. I didn't have a second to collect myself. I didn't have a second to move the bang from the sweat. I didn't have a second to compose myself. Immediately, we lock eyes and I'm like, heat just rushes, girl, at me. Just full heat. And I'm like, great. I'm like, oh, it says I'm nervous, right? I like immediately smile. I'm like, oh. And he takes that as in like, oh my God, like she's so like, you know, welcoming. He comes up to me. I'm like, boy, give me a second to breathe. So he's walking towards me, right? Because he parks literally like not in front of the house, but like, you know, the road, like on the other side of right in front of the house. I'm walking towards him. He's not looking me up and down because he's respectful, but I can like, I know he has full vision of me, right? And I'm wearing this tight dress, girl. Like, oh my God. I'm just like, huh? And I see flowers. I see flowers in his hand, girl. So everyone I bet with at that time, because I'm like, this man better bring me flowers on the first date. Everyone would be like, he doesn't know that? Or like, no, that's too much. Like, he's not going to want to do that. Or like, whatever. And I'm like, no, well, I want a man that brings me flowers on the first date. And if this doesn't come naturally to him, then I don't want him. But when I saw those flowers in his hand, Missy, I was like, you like me? I see him, he looks at me and he hugs me. I black out. I don't remember anything, to be honest. I don't remember if he smelled. I don't remember how it felt. I literally don't remember anything. All I remember being like, I'm so sweaty. Please don't touch my sweat. That's all I kept thinking. Somehow we end up on the side of his car, right? He opens the car door for me, as he should. He waits for me to sit down. Then he hands me my flowers. I literally almost put my hands up like, please put the seatbelt. Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. Of course he did. It was the first date. It was the first date. I'll let it slide. And so he like, you know, closes the door for me, obviously, because I'm not allowed to touch doors. These pretty hands are not the ongo hands, but at the time I had beautiful nails. So when he closes my door, immediately the moment he looks away, I look and I'm like, he's not looking. I put down the mirror. I look at myself. I block the sweat. He's already coming into the side. The moment he like is about to open the door, I close the mirror. He opens the door and I'm like, me sweaty? Never. No, I'm good. I look like this all the time. Try. He sits in, he blasts the AC. I'm like, thank the Lord. Thank heavens. I'm literally not trying to be like, oh, like in the AC, but I'm literally like. So we get to the park. It's a beautiful park. I know this park because I lived near there. You know what I mean? I used to go to this park all the time when I was depressed. Like I would literally walk around, cry a little bit, and then, you know, I'd feel better, some kind of a little bit. We park and I'm like, oh my God, like we're gonna be in this heat again. Like, yay! He doesn't know I overheat easily, okay? He doesn't know I'm an anxious girly and I sweat profusely, even when it's not hot, right? He obviously goes around, opens my door. I get out like, oh, thanks. Like he didn't see all the damn lonjas when I was sitting down. I was like, I'm trying to get out, like, lonjas? Where? He opens the trunk and I'm like, oh, what do I help you with? Because girl, I see everything in this damn trunk. There's a cooler. There's 2 extra like bags. And then there was something else. Oh, and then there was a Michael's bag. I'm like, Michael's bag? Okay, whatever, you know. And I'm like, oh, like, what do I help you with? And there's the little blanket. And I'm like, oh, I'll help him with the little blanket. I'm about to reach for it. And he's like, oh, no, Princessa, like, you don't have to carry anything. Like, it's okay. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, like, you just carry your purse. Like, don't worry about anything else. Like, I'll carry it. And I was like, you trying to have babies? That in my head, I was like, he's always going to carry the baby bag. Yeah, I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead, girl. He's gonna be carrying the stroller. In my head, I'm like, oh, a father. So like, he picks up everything, girl. And it's a lot of stuff. It's heavy. I just see his veins pop out of his arms. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, are you sure? I feel so bad, girl. I'm ready to grab something. He's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You just carry your bag. Like, don't worry about anything. And I'm like, okay. My little purse, okay, I'll carry my little purse, sure. Girl, it felt so nice. Him completely almost getting a hernia. I offered to help, girl, and I was gonna, okay? But he was strictly like, no, you carry your little purse, because that's all you need to carry. Who was I? Who was I to contradict him? Also, I carry my little tiny purse and he's hauling everything, right, to where we're going. It's not even close. You gotta walk a little. And I'm just like, are you sure? He's like seeping to us. I was like, all right. He sets up everything. I'm like, oh, let me help you. He's like, no. Don't worry. And I was like, okay. He sets up the whole thing. He puts out a little fan for moi. He's like, sit down. I want to see where to put it so it hits you. Okay. Right here. I'm sitting right here. Like this. Like this. No, not like that because the lonjas are showing. Like this. Right there. And he's like, okay. And he's like putting a little fan, right? He's putting a little speaker. He's going to put music. And he's like, oh, like, I'll be back. Like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay. Great. Perfect opportunity to update my besties. Yeah. You saw that video on IG and TikTok. So that's the video I took while he went to the bathroom. So I'm like freaking out, right? But at the same time, I'm like having the time of my life. It's been so long since I've been on a date, girl. And so long since I've been in a relationship. This was like nice. It felt really nice, like to be taken care of and like for him to plan everything and me to just to sit there and look pretty. I had been working every day, girl, stressing out every day. I just wanted to be taken care of, and he did. So he came back and I'm just like, oh, hey. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. So we sit down, girl, after everything is set up, and he's like, oh, let's take a picture. He's like ready to go. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, he was acting like he was my man already, girl. And I was like, okay, I'll let it slide. We'll take a picture, which I'm so glad we did, bestie. Like, now I'm so glad he took pictures on the first date because now you get to see them. And so then I'm like, oh, what's in the Michael's bag? Because I'm curious, like, what is in there? He's like, oh, well, he's like, I know you like art and I know you're so artsy. And he's like, so I brought you. And then he starts pulling everything out. He brings out a professional sketchbook. He's like, oh, I brought this for you because I know you're so good at art. And I brought this for me. It was a coloring book for him. He's like, I'm not that great, but like, you know, like we can color and draw and whatever. And I was like, this sounds like the most perfect day. I just want to relax. I just want to be in the zone and just chill under the trees in the sun, because he knew at this point I love being outside because I'm indoors all the time because of work. And I had told him, like, I just want to be out. And I think that's why he chose a picnic, even though it was 100 degrees outside. It's okay, we learn. And he takes out professional markers, and not one package, two, one of those expensive ones, girl. And I was like, oh, and he's like, oh, and you're gonna take all of this home. I'm like, word? He's like, yeah, so you can de-stress and relax. Or like, these are all for you, but like, we're just gonna be using them right now, like, you know, to like, you know, pass the time. And I was like, okay, live. I'm really nervous, right, Bessie? I'm really anxious. I do not want to draw in front of this man because, first of all, I haven't had time to do art in so long. So what if it's ass? You know what I mean? And he thinks I'm like this artiste and it's like horrible, you know? So I'm like, this is too much pressure. So I'm like, I'm like, why don't we just color a page together? Because that means we're together. And so he's like, okay. So then I don't want to be sucking in anymore, girl. Like, I'm tired. You know what I mean? The faja's digging in. Like, I just want to lay down, like belly down, so I can just let it all out. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down. And he's like, okay. So he lays down next to me. At this time, I didn't know. Not that he has back problems, but like he doesn't like laying down on his stomach for too long because his back will hurt. I didn't know this at the time. But I'm laying down because I feel great, and he does it with me. So I don't know these things, right? So we're coloring. I'm thinking, wow, he's probably so comfortable like me. So we're just coloring the same page, and like I'm like, you know, I'm an artiste. I'm like taking my time, beautiful strokes. His is a little all over the place. And so this is a time where I'm like, I feel comfortable enough to bully him. I was like, oh wow, what a beautiful messy masterpiece. He's like, oh. And so we start like, you know, we start. And so he's making jokes, I'm making jokes, and we're finally laughing, relaxing, you know what I mean? I'm starting to not sweat anymore. I'm starting to feel like I'm not in the oven anymore. Like I'm calming down, cooling down. And so then at this point, he like moves to the side almost, and I'm like I'm laying down, right, face down, and he's face down here, but he does one of these, and I'm like, what'd you do that for? I just stopped sweating. Were you gonna look at me? And so he looks at me, and I'm like, con pelo, like he better not see my sweat. I'm like, oh my god, what are you looking at? You know? And he's like, well, I can't look at you. And I'm like, no. Like, sir, I just chilled, like, relax. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, no, just kidding. Not really. And so he goes back, belly down. So I think it was his way of like relieving the pain in his back, but I was just like, go back now. We start again. We start laughing. The music's playing. It's like oldies 50s, I think. And at the time I did thought it was a red flag. Why didn't he ask me what I want to listen to? But like, I liked it. And I remember saying like, oh, I like this music. Oh, because man, he thinks of everything. I had told him that when I was little, like my mom, like she wouldn't take us out all the time because, you know, times were tough. But there was this Johnny Rocket, and I remember going one time and we like shared a malteada. Best malteada I've ever had in my life. And I remember it was such good memories, and it was oldies playing, and it was like everything was like oldies themed. And I remember telling him about this memory and like how much it meant to me, and like how like I don't think there's any Johnny Rockets left, maybe like one or two. And so I think that's why he just immediately put the oldies. So like I'm relaxing, I'm having a great time, like I'm remembering beautiful things, I'm with him making memories. And then this mano larga puts his arm around my waist, and I was just like I didn't know what to do, so I did nothing. I continued to color. I was like, you gonna touch me, boy? We haven't had dinner yet. You gonna put your arm around me? So I was just like, okay, he's doing so good so far. So I was like, I'll let it slide. And he doesn't leave it there or like caress me, you know what I mean? It was just like and I was like, okay. So he then removes it right after like some time, and I was like, okay, I'm better. And so We continue coloring. At this point, he's like, oh, like, you know, like, are you hungry? And I was like, girl, I'm not about to eat. I'm not about to eat. But I'm like, yeah, you, like, yeah. He's like, oh, I brought some snacks. Like, just some snacks because we're going to get Korean barbecue later. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he pulls out of this cooler Tupperwares of, like, cut up watermelon in bite size. Cut up strawberries in bite size. Cut up cantaloupe in bite size. But this was not store-bought cut up fruit. You could tell he cut the fruit himself. Like, they were in perfect little bite-sized pieces, and it was like fresh. You know what I'm saying? So, like, by the way, Bessie, at this point it had come from, I forgot to tell you, because I remember the sudden little change. At this point, it wasn't just princesa, it was mi princesa. So I'm his princesa, and I'm being treated like a princesa. He starts fixing on my plate. I start, like, you know, asking, because obviously, like, the way I was raised, like, oh my god, like, how do I help? Like, oh, I can fix you a plate. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, oh no. He's like, don't worry, like, I'll fix it for you. And I was like, okay. Yeah, okay. He's like, do you want this much? And I'm like, let me test him. I was like, a little more. He's like, this much? And I was like, a little more. This much? I'm like, yeah, that's okay. And he's like, okay, how much tahini do you want? And I was like, oh, just a little. And he's like this? And I'm like, yeah, maybe a little more. He's like that? I'm like, yeah. You gotta test him, Bessie. You gotta test him. Like, is he patient? You know? And so he fixes my plate, and I'm like, oh my god, I've never tried this. I hope it's good, because I'm gonna have to eat it. You know what I mean? And so he gives it to me, and I'm like, oh, let me fix your plate. He's like, no, I got it. So he's doing it, and I'm just like not taking a bite, right? Because I'm so nervous. I spill everything on myself, Bessie. You know this. I'm clumsy. Everything's all, you know what I mean? It's a new dress. Those are kind of showing. Like, imagínate que se me caiga right there. So I'm just like playing around with it. I'm like, Before I knew it, Bessie, he looks at me and he's like, here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, thank you. Literally grab the fork from him to feed myself. And he's like, oh no. He feeds me. Girl, the fruit nearly dropped because I didn't want to open my mouth or big, you know? He would have seen every metal filling in there. At the time, I had like more metal fillings. Like, with time, they've gotten old and I've had to put crowns. Girl, this whole other story, girl. Not the point. But I didn't want to open my mouth big enough for him to see all the metal fillings in there. So I was like, thank you. And so I'm getting fruit shoved in my face, right? But like romantically. But in my head, I'm like, oh my god, like this is as close as he's got into my mouth, you know? It's like literally like, oh my god, like this is so intimate. Like, you feeding me? I've never been fed before. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, do I feed him back? Like, I'm literally looking at my hand, right? Like, I'm like, is my hand steady enough to feed him? And girl, I was literally like, but in my head, I'm like, how is he gonna feed me and not me feed him back? So I'm like, it's like, good. He's like, yeah. And he's looking at me like con tanta ternura, and I'm just like, And at that point, we're already there for like about an hour. The sun is starting to hit us, okay, by the way. Like, we're no longer in the shade because the sun's moving. And so I'm like, oh. He's like, are you hot? I'm like, yeah, just a little. He's like, oh, let's move over there. I was like, what do you mean? We're not packing up to go? Okay. So we move. We pack up everything, right? Or he does, because he doesn't let me. He packs up everything. We move like under this big ass tree, right? We move there in the shade. But at this point, I'm standing. And it takes a lot for me to stand up and sit back down with the faja. You know this, girl. Especially with the dress. Everything digging in. Like, I gotta rearrange every time. And so I'm standing up. Like, he has all the bags in his hand. Like, ready to shift. Like, the blanket's already on the other side. He already did it. And so when he has everything in his hands, I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity. Let me just tell him, like, hey, should we just go instead? Like, should we just go instead? Like, everything's already packed up. Like, should we go instead? I swear, Bessie, I swear I thought I had said, I don't like you. I don't even want to be with you. Because his face was like, yeah, you want to leave? Oh, pobrecito. Literally, girl, this is his face. Okay, yeah, if you want to go, like, let's go. I ripped his heart out, girl. I didn't even know it. And so immediately I'm like, oh, social cues. Oh, I was like, no, let's stay. I was just saying so you don't have to pack up again. You know what I mean? Like that's not it at all. Like, I don't want to leave right now. Like, no, like stay. He's like, no, it's okay. He's like, no, we can go. And I was like, no, unpack everything and sit your ass down. And he's like, oh, he's like, okay, like, yeah, okay. He's like, I have more I brought for you. Like, I have like, I was just like, it's okay, let's unpack. And so he starts unpacking. I'm just standing there watching him unpack, and I'm like, do I help you? And he's like, no, I got it. He's like, you sit down, you lay down, you cool off. And I'm like, okay. He's like, oh, I brought you popsicles. And there was like those plastic like popsicle thingies. And he's like, oh, let me get them out the cooler. Like, are you hot? You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, no. Sweat running down. I'm like, no, I'm not hot. I'm like, what do you think I is? No, I'm actually cold. He like goes and get the popsicles. The popsicle is just like, it's not a sickle anymore. It's just pop. Like, it is, you know what I mean? It's not frozen. Nothing's frozen there. I'm melting just as much as that popsicle. And she's like, oh, but I brought like cold sodas. And I'm like, soda? One thing you should know about me, Bessie, I don't like soda. But I was desperate because water wasn't doing. I'm pretty sure I'm dehydrated at this point because of how much sweat. I'm playing it off, right? Every time he looks away, I'm like, you know what I mean? So he's not seeing it. He's not seeing the cues that I'm dying, right? And so I'm like, yeah, soda. Girl, I chugged that soda. He's like, we'll go in a bit then. I'm like, okay. He's like, oh, I just wanted to show you this first. I'm like, what? What is it? I'm like, okay. Girl, he pulls out this like box of Legos, and it's Lego flowers. They literally look exactly the same as the real flowers he got me. And he's like, oh, I wanted to build this with you so you can have like your first flowers, so your first flowers never die. Okay, you can put me in a sauna because that's cute as hell. That's cute as hell. What you mean? Yes, let's build this together. And so we're building the flowers. Everything's beautiful. The moment we finish building the flowers, he grabs all three and he goes. And I said, oh my God, thanks. And so then he turns away to get the second thing out of his bag that we're doing. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much. You're just the best. I love you. Girl. At this point, I feel like something's not right. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I'm like, I'm way too like panicky, uncomfortable, hot, itchy, like something's not right. But I'm like, it's fine. It's my nerves. It's my anxiety. Sometimes I feel like my body's on fire when I'm like super nervous or anxious. Like, it's fine, you know? But something was just happening in my body. I'm like, I don't feel that great, but I didn't say anything. I was like, okay. He pulls out a little mini Connect 4. He's like, I know how competitive you are and how much you love games. And I was like, yes, let's play a game of Connect 4. Just one game. I didn't say that. But I was like, yeah. And so we're playing Connect 4. He beats me. So guess who's not feeling bad anymore? Not me. I feel cool, calm, and collected. I could go on. I could play another game. I can play another game. We're playing, I win. And I'm like, oh! I'm like, let's untie this. We have to play another game. Matter of fact, I nearly put my hair up, girl. Yeah, let's go. What's up? You're not letting me win? Okay. All right. Let's play another game. We're playing again, and I'm like, I better beat his ass because I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm in game mode. I win. Of course. And so he's like, oh, you want to play another game? I'm like, hell no. What do you mean? You might win, and then I might not be the winner anymore. So, like, and I'm like saying this all in jokes and fun. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, I don't really care if I win. And so, like, I laid down because now I'm more comfortable. Like, okay, and like just kind of like laying down before I say like, you want to go, you know what I mean? But I wanted to make it romantic one last time, so I like lay down. I'm like, oh, you lay down. He's like, okay. And then this time he lays on his back, and I'm like, what a weird thing to do, but all right, like, it's okay. All right, what are you looking up at the sky for if your heaven's right here? Your princesa is right here. And so I didn't know at the time, right, that like his back was hurting while he was facing down. But then I like kind of look at him, give him the eyes like, and so he obviously turns to the side and he's looking at me, and I'm like, bad move. I shouldn't have given him the eyes, because now he's just staring at me. Like, I'm facing down, he's facing to the side, he looking at me, and like straight up just looking at me. And I'm like, but this time, girl, when he was looking at me, I felt the tension. And he kept looking down here, and I was like, why are you looking? And so the sweat starts forming. I'm like, and then I can feel, you know, the feeling I'm talking about. I'm like, if I don't like say something, or like he wants to kiss me, and I want to kiss him, but I'm like, it's the first date and he's not my man, I'm not gonna let him kiss me. Well, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, that's why he keeps staring right here, like, oh my god, he's staring at my lips because he wants to kiss me. And I'm like, no, I have to break this, right? Like, we can't. You're not my man's yet. You're not allowed to kiss me. No. And so I'm like, are you hungry? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, are you hungry? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay, yeah. So he starts packing up, right? And there I go with my little purse again. So he's carrying everything to the trunk. We finally get into the car. Thank God. He opens my door, right? I sit down. Right when he's like looking away, I put that mirror down. He was looking at little makeup moco. Right? And I was like, oh, maybe he didn't want to kiss me. Maybe he was just staring at that. We love. I quickly do one of those. He goes back into the car. I'm like, he puts on the AC full blast. I'm like, I'm in heaven again. Thank God. Like, you know what I mean? Crisis averted. I'm no longer like hyperventilating. Like, I'm good, you know? So the moment he blasts the AC, we got the directions to go to a Korean restaurant. I have my hands in my lap, as one does. And he does one of these. You could, if I had put my hand like that, you would have seen sweat drip a little. You would have. So if you could see it, you could feel it, okay? So when he grabbed my hand, I was like, oh, no. He's like, no, like, give it to me. And I slip right out because they're sweaty. And I'm like putting my hands on the AC. I'm like, wait. His hand is literally like this waiting for me to put it. So it's not even like I can just put him back in my lap. I have to give my hand back to him. He's like, it's okay, mi princesa. It's okay. So I'm like... and he's still there waiting for me, so I'm sweating even more, girl. I'm just like, okay. And so finally he's like, just ven aquí, princesa, and he grabs my hand. We interlock, and I'm like, putting this one in the AC, because you think, Bessie, I'm gonna let him hold this sweaty hand the whole way to the restaurant? You got me. And so I'm like, literally, I did one of those. The whole way to the restaurant, girl. I'm just like, I don't know what he saw in me, to be honest. Finally, we make it to the restaurant, and like I like feel like the tension and like the butterflies when I am holding his hand. He like turns everything off, and so we have to let go. He's like, don't open your door, and I was like, wasn't planning on it. So he opens my door, and so I get up, and at this point, girl, I feel icky. I don't feel hot. I don't feel great. My clothes is kind of sticking to me. And so he opens the door. And so I get up like, oh, okay. And then in this Korean restaurant, like the whole wall is basically like glass. And it's not like that glass you can see through. It's like that reflective glass. So it's like a mirror, you know what I mean? I see myself and I go, I'm back. At this point, girl, I had been exercising, dieting. Like I had like lost a lot of weight because of mental illness, but then I was trying to keep that weight down. And so I looked at myself and I had never seen like me look like that. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, okay. So then I looked at him and I grabbed his hand. I was like, and he didn't like expect it because he was reaching it for it anyways, but I like was kind of like went first. And he was like, and so we get to the restaurant and he opens the door for me. Of course. Because these ongo hands can't touch doors. At the time, I had really cute nails, okay? Really cute nails. And so we're ordering. He's like, what do you want me, princesa? And I was like, you said that in front of the cashier? So we sit down. Our food gets to us pretty quickly. Thank God, because I haven't eaten all day except for the fruit. And so he's like, oh, wait. And I'm like, what? He's like, let me take a picture. Before I can even say anything, girl, he's already out with the phone. And I'm like, oh no, like, oh my God. And he took those, which you will see on my IG. And so I asked him to show me, right? And I'm like, do I look crazy in these pics? Like, is my face already melted? But girl, when he showed me those photos, I was like, anybody that says that I use too much setting spray, just look at the photos. Just look at the photos. This is after sweating all day, bestie. In the heat, outside, my face was set. So I'm like here posing for him and he's like, oh, give me your hand. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, give me your hand. So I give him my hand, girl, and he takes the photo with me holding his hand. Like all you can see in the photo is me, my hand reaching to his hand. And I'm like, who are you gonna send these to? Who are you gonna tell that I'm your girl? Because these look like couple photos. And we not a couple, my guy. Like, where is so I was a little thrown off a little bit, but I was like, yo bien obediente. Is that good? We're laughing. We're having a great time. We're eating. I feel refreshed. I feel cooled down. Like I have food in me. I'm feeling fantastic. And so then it's time to go. So I'm starting to get sad like while eating, and he can tell like my mood has changed. He's like, what's wrong, mi princesa? And I was like, oh, are you taking me home after this? He's like, honestly, like, I don't want to. And I was like, okay. He's like, you want to get dessert? And I'm like, yeah. At this point, girl, I'm pretty sure it's like 5, I want to say. So we get to the car. He opens my door, of course. I sit down and I'm like, this is going so well. Like, I'm feeling like myself again. He puts the directions to the Michoacana. And so we hold hands. My hand's still sweaty, so I'm still doing one of those. I'm still doing one of those. Don't judge me, girl. He gets me now. You know what I mean? He's not fighting it. He's like, ay, mi princesa. I'm like, eh. We get to La Michoacana. He opens my car door, of course. We go in there. He opens my door as well. Okay? He's like, what do you want, mi princesa? Like, get anything you want. And I was like, okay. And so I just get like a drink, because I don't want to eat. I just wanted to drink something. That looked weird. Whoa. And so he pays, of course, and we sit down and he's just looking at me and he puts his hand out, and so I put my hand in his, and so we're holding hands and I'm drinking my drink, and he's like, wait, princesa, let me take a picture. Okay, all right, I know the deal. I know you take great photos at this point, so let me, but I was a little caught off guard, like another photo? Okay. I was like, all right, okay. Stop. We're finishing our dessert and I'm feeling like kind of sad again. He can tell like he catches on really well to social cues and like the way I'm feeling. He's like, ¿Qué tienes, mi princesa? And I was like, I just don't want this date to end. And he's like, it's okay, like, it doesn't have to. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, say no more. And so I was like, let me take you to the gardens I, built and took care of while I was at university. He's like, you did landscape? And I was like, I sure did. And he's like, yeah, let's go see him. I'm like, okay. So we get out of the Michoacana. He opens the restaurant door. You already know the drill, girl. I'm not allowed to touch doors. And I didn't say that. He said it. He said it. So he opens my door. He opens the car door again. And so we get in. He puts the directions to go there. We're holding hands the whole time. And I'm like, I feel like this could be my future. Like, this could be my life with him. And like, it was just doing little things like that. Like, we didn't have to go somewhere extravagant. We didn't have to do something like super crazy. Like, I just loved that he was matching my energy, and the things that we were doing were kind of like peaceful and calm as for a first date, you know what I mean? So we get to the garden place and he parked, and I know how to work the parking system thingy. We have to pay for the parking, and he's like, oh, okay, like, let me see. And I was like, no, I can do it on my phone. He's like, no, then use my debit card. Okay, that hot. That was like, okay. Who am I to contradict you? So he opens my door. You know what? I'm gonna stop saying it. You already know what's happening, but you already know. And so we start walking in my garden. I'm getting nervous again, right? And at this point, girl, I have blisters forming in the back of like my heel because of the straps. You know what I mean? It was like rubbing and it was causing a little blister. But I was like, it's not bad enough where like we can't continue the day. Like, I don't want the night to end, you know? At this point, the sun was setting, girl. I think it was like 6 p.m. maybe, girl. The whole time we were together, Bessie, like, he was always by my side next to me. But I got like a little overexcited and I was gonna show him like a tree and like tell him about all these things. And then I don't notice him next to me and I'm like, where the hell is he? I turn around, this man's like, clink. You better not, because this one thing up here, but full body, you got me. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I was just taking a photo. And I was like, no. And literally, I'll post it. You already know I'm going to post them all. You already know I'm going to post them. You could see me literally panicking, like, no. And like trying to cover my body because I don't want him to have like a photo of my body. I was still subconscious at the time, okay? Like, this was the first time meeting him, girl. And so I was like, no, oh. And at first time I was like, are these red flags? Like, why are you taking photos? But then I'm like, well, no, because if he is the one, like, these are gonna be things we're gonna want to remember and have photos of, you know? And so I was just like, okay, like, no. And he respected it. The moment I was like, oh my God, he was like, oh, no, okay. And I'm like, okay. And so then we're walking, and this time I was like, you know what? I feel so comfortable now. Like, let me take a photo. I take out my phone and I'm like, let's take a photo. And he's like, okay. Girl, he puts his arm around me and I'm like, this was the closest we've gotten, like, as far as like our bodies touching, girl. I'm taking the photo with this arm. Obviously I'm like right here, but he puts his arm around here. And so this hand is free. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. So I'm taking the photo and I like interlock hands with him. And I take the photo and I can see the reaction of his face in my camera, like, without having to look at him. Girl, like, he was like, I know. I took his breath away because he wasn't expecting that. And also it felt so intimate and like, it felt like we were a couple. Like, you don't take photos like that unless you're a couple in my world, right? And so I could tell that he really liked that. And so I'm like, okay. After a while I was like, all right, like, this is a lie. We're still not together. Relax. So then we stopped. We end up walking like this really long trail. At this point, girl, I'm like, the blister's getting worse and it's getting on both of my ankles now. So we're walking. He notices, like, I'm not limping, but he notices like something a little different. And so he's like, mi princesa, ¿todo está bien? And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Like, yeah, I'm okay. Everything's good. And we're getting closer, like, to, not to the end, but closer to the end of the trail where we still have to go back, girl. And I'm like, I think I just have like a little blister. We just have to walk slower. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I'll carry you. Now, he looks strong. He looked like he can do it. I wouldn't be surprised if he could. Well, I know he can now. But like, I was like, no, I'm gonna break your back. He's like, no, princess, like, you would not break my back. He's like, I'll carry you. He's ready, girl. He's literally ready to carry me. And I'm like, no, I literally have to be like, no, it's okay. We're good. We're good. We're just gonna walk slowly. And he's like, okay, but like, if you feel like, you know, you need it, like, tell me. And I'm like, okay. So like, he, you know, he kind of like grabs me and I'm like, okay. And so we're walking, and I could tell like the mood was changing, like in him. I thought he was just like bored, or he had to go to the bathroom, or he was tired because he had spent the whole day with me. Like, and it was hot the whole day. Like, I didn't know what was troubling him. I'm like, oh, like, you know, can we sit down here? And he's like, yeah, of course. He's like, you want me to like rub your feet? Girl, I was like, oh, no, that's okay, because I was wearing strappy sandals the whole day, girl. And you know how that be. When you're sweating, the dirt goes in. The bottom of your feet are like gross. They're disgusting. Like, they're dirty, you know? And I was like, no, it's okay. He's like, no, I will. And he's like ready to take off my sandals. I'm like, no, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. He's like, okay, but if you need it, like, you tell me. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you. And so we're sitting down and the vibes are a little off, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that he's not holding a conversation, he's just a little bit more quiet. And I'm like, no, I want to keep the date going. And the sun's already going down, girl, by this time. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'm just gonna put myself out there. I was like, you want to go like over there? Like, I already have blisters, girls, but I don't even care at this point because I just don't want to leave him. I was like, oh, you want me to go show you like another place I planted and I designed? And he kind of like thought about it, and I was like, yeah, it's like over there. And he was like, oh, he's like, for next time. And the way I translated that was, I don't like you and I never want to see you again. Here! Take it! Here! It's yours! You don't want to see the sunrise with me? What do you like me or do you not? Why are you playing with my feelings? And then he's like, you know, why don't, since we already had the day planned for Sunday, like, why don't we see each other Sunday as well? And like, it was Friday that day, right? And I was like, okay, yeah. So then I felt better, right? I was like, okay, we're good. So we start walking to the car and we're holding hands still. And I can just tell like something's off. And at the time I didn't know that he was genuinely sad. Like the way I was genuinely sad, he was genuinely sad. So then we get to the car, he opens my car door. On the way to my house, girl, like the car ride is silent. I could feel like the sadness. And so we finally get to like the front of my house. So he gets out, he opens my car door, I get out, and I'm like, okay. I can't hug him because I had so much in my hands, girl. Like I had my little tiny purse, my bouquet of flowers, my Lego flowers, my drawing book, the professional markers, the 2-packs, and then I think I had something else, but I don't remember. I had a lot, and so I couldn't really hug him. So I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm not gonna leave just like that, like him hugging me and like with all the things he got me. So I'm like, wait right here. And he was like, okay. And so I go to my house, like open up really quietly, because at this point, sometimes they're already asleep, and like, it was the girl, I had to be so quiet, and I had to like put my stuff there in the hallway. And I never do that. I never leave anything that's mine in their house, because it's their house. But I leave it there. I'm like, screw it, no one's there. And I'm like, okay, I put everything there, I close the door, I come back out, and I'm like not even running, girl. I think I'm like speed walking to him. I look like a freaking fool. And then he's just like, oh. And so I go this, and he's like, oh, okay. And so I give him a hug, and he gives me a hug, and it's just like this, girl, for like, I want to say for like 10 seconds. And he's like holding me so tight, and I'm just like taking in the hug, and like I could kind of feel his heart pounding, and I'm just like ooh, okay. Finally I like kind of let go, and it wasn't like you let go slowly and your face is right there, like, you know, in the movies and stuff. I just kind of, I'm so clumsy, girl. I kind of just let go, and I'm like, okay. Like I literally back away. I'm like, okay, I had a really nice time, like I can't wait for Sunday. And he's like, yeah, me too. He has to drive, girl, like an hour and a half, 2 hours to go back to his house. So I'm like, text me when you get home, and it's already late, and I know he goes to sleep early because he wakes up at like 4 in the morning. So he tries walking to my house. I'm like, it's okay. He's basically at the front steps of my house at this point. I'm like, okay, bye. Because my landlords have a Ring camera, and I didn't want them to see all this. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's okay. He's like, okay. He's like, are you sure? Like, I'll walk you to your door. I'm like, no, like, please don't. Please don't. And he's like, okay. And so he watches me go inside my door, right? But right when I'm like going to my door, I don't want to yell in front of the house. And I'm like, okay, good night. And he's like, good night. I was like, literally, girl. And so I'm just like, okay. So I go in my house, girl. I drop off everything. Immediately, I'm like, I can't stay here. I can't. I have too much energy. And like, oh my God, like, this is my man. Like, this was a great first date. Like, this was not a letdown. Like, I think this is him. And so, like, I can't stay here. And so I just grab my purse, girl. I'm still in my fit and everything. And I drive to my mom. So I get to my mom's and I'm like, you better get ready for a wedding. She's like, wait, let me take a photo. And I'm like, a photo of me? She's like, yeah, I will post that too. Don't worry, girl, I'm posting it all. And so she takes a photo because I want to know how I look like at the end, right? So I'm like, here posing for her for my mom. She's like, you look so good. I'm like, thanks, Mom. And so I debrief her and everything. And so finally, like, I sent him like a really cute text, like, thank you for everything. And I just thanked him for everything that he did, because like I could tell he put time and effort into it. And he just treated me so well throughout the, like, this is our first date, girl, you know what I mean? And so I just sent him like a really long message. He gets home, he tells me, oh, I'm home, like, you know, I had a great time, like, telling me all these things. He's like, you're so beautiful, I like haven't felt like this ever. And I was like, oh my God, that was the first date, girl, and it was the most magical first date I've ever had, ever. And so that's it, girl. Okay, I love you so much. I'll see you on the second date. But little did I know, girl, that on Saturday I would wake up looking like an ogre. That didn't stop us for Sunday. I got to work, girl. I got it together.